school over and over and over again.
John, we're live.
I'm not supposed to be on videos for some reason.
No, you can be on video if you
I feel
want.
amazing.
You know, we did a
Venting
great.
and talking about myself, and then somehow it gives me this horrible anxiety to be on camera if it's your video when it's just ridiculous, and that's what I'm good at. If I didn't have to film these random videos every week, no matter what, I always have to put something up on.
John, we're
I can
on
actually
live. We're on live.
a music video when I feel like it instead, and never do those random videos.
And it's okay for you to express yourself, but I'm not taking this one down.
I'm just expressing myself on camera. I don't want to put videos up every week like YouTube says that. I love YouTube, but YouTube also has these other people that have big videos that they do a really high quality, well thought out video that's real film production, short films, all that, real filmmaking, music video, a funny, good idea that's well done. They do it once every 2 months, once every 3-4 months. Then those videos get really big and they make them high quality. And they're not always working at these random videos, editing all the time.
Hey, Dragon. How you doing, buddy?
So I might do that. I might switch to the real filmmaking again.
Yeah. So what did you think of...
It's hard to make a real high quality film without spending money too. It's like, really? I'm gonna go.
Okay.
I'm going upstairs. Because I get anxiety over it. You trying to talk to him because it's your channel?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go in the kitchen.
So, this has been an interesting week. We've had some interesting chats. A few nights ago, we had the Israeli Defense Force, the IDF, and then we had the satanic Yoda troll, and hey, Twitchy.
Hey, it's still got the makeup on from that other live video.
Yeah, there's John Boy.
Hey.
Hey, there's John.
Hi. Hey.
And across the globe, people are having issues with reality. Yes, I think so too. And the thing that I like
You
best
want to hear the
about
most anxiety-laden thing I could possibly say that's not related to anything that would hurt anybody here?
well, if you say it, it's not coming off this chat.
Okay.
You know. The thing I'm most happy with.
Charlie Sheen got the A's, Ballers, man.
That's John. Is that we are a wrench-free platform, an unmoderated platform, and the thing is that we all moderate ourselves.
The most anxiety-laden sentence that you could possibly say.
Charlie Sheen got the A's, Ballers, for Bill Cosby.
Again,
Okay.
you know.
Terrible. Okay, I'm gonna get out of here.
Okay, have a good night, John.
I just wanted my dream to come true of being a superstar, rock star, musical filmmaker that starred in my own movies, and it hasn't come true because I have to be kind to everybody else. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm okay with being kind to everybody else and kind of not as confident as. Not this big jerk that's like, hey, big politician on stage. Yes, you can barely see me. I'm up here. There's thousands of people in the crowd. Somebody is dying for being tased to death in the back. Yes, I'm the best, most powerful guy just flew in by helicopter. Ha 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 ha. I don't like to do that. Instead, I'm kind. Instead, I'm kind to people. Maybe that guy was even nice too, a little bit. But I'm very, very kind to everybody. My dream didn't come true yet, and I don't know how long it's gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it or not. And I'll probably do it on some level. I've already done some. I have a video that I star in that I created with 50. Has 52 million hits. Rowan is terrified of Ron McDonald. Hey, yeah, whoop-de-doo. Oh, Despacito has 5 billion hits. Oh yeah, you're so cool. You have 53 million views. Yay! There's something coming off my leg.
So what is the alternative? You know, I keep talking about the alternative aesthetic. What is the alternative aesthetic? Well, you can come back in 10, 15
so
minutes.
Cool, man. Yeah.
You know, it's hard to watch, but
Yeah.
it's an important lesson.
What's a lesson?
Oh, patience. Patience is the great lesson. Yep, fame is really it's an illusion. It's a useless thing. So anyway, what's happened the last few rambles, and that's kind of what these chats have been, is that they are, I'm letting them to be free range, right? And lots of things come in and go out, and because I'm trying very hard to create a platform that's different from everyone else. And like I said, we're a wrench-free environment. We're, a non-moderated, because everyone moderates ourselves because we care about each other, and that's the thing that moderates. And we want to basically have a conversation here that's not the same old same, right? Not the thing, the habitual harangue, and that's what we just saw. And that's what we're looking to do, and that's why the cadre is everybody. I hate YouTube's term of what do they call it? Joining or whatever that S word is. I don't like to use it because it's so transactional, right? Well, the cadre is the clan. And the chorus is all who take part in the chat. And the shock troops of love are those who go into state, And this is a truly protected environment, even though it's like hanging out on the cliff, right? Even though it's on the World Wide Web, it's, basically very protected because of everyone who's involved in it, right? Anyway, so that's a question, I didn't get to meditate or do the reading I wanted to do this evening. But because we're kind of, we've been stuck up here on the school on top of the mountain, it's ice station, Zebra, and yesterday we had a little bit of rain and it was in the 40s, and I got up really early because it hit its warmest at around 3 in the morning, and then it started to get cold. So I left to go shopping, and the wind, ooh, it was like pretty amazing because we have this big snowstorm heading north of us, and we're right on the razor's edge, and you can see these weird clouds, all those kind of weird clouds that they show on YouTube of aliens, and well, it was right in our neighborhood, right? And so I kind of tobogganed down the hill and went to the, you know, supermarket. And just as I was checking out, the wind blew short, and the supermarket lost power, and for a good 10 minutes. So I told them to hold my basket and to, when the power came on, to tabulate, and I'd be back. And I went off and I had breakfast. And I was at, country cooking, right? And it's not as nice or wholesome. Not nice. It's nice enough, but it's not as wholesome. And someone dropped me a line saying, "Why do you always have to eat in the mornings?" It's breakfast time, and I like sharing a meal with my cadre, right?
There are all sorts of opinions on that differ. What is the healthiest? One of the most successful bodybuilders of all time, who was Mr. Universe, a black guy who died in his, I think when he was 80 or 82 suddenly, who was very healthy and in amazing shape even in his 70s.
And that's the important thing
Jim Morris,
is listening to the conversation and
he had one meal a day. He didn't eat anything in the morning. That's a new trend, actually, is not eating anything in the morning and trying intermittent fasting. You know, if you want to hear what I really actually want to be doing right now, instead of having somebody
doing good.
when
Get
I
the
actually
picture.
buy all this chicken
Freezing
breast
up here in
so I can
Canada.
eat healthy food and eat as much of as I felt like without
Blood
gaining
Moon
weight,
over
without having any carbs
your
and
way. Yep,
bullshit.
yep.
No sugar, but I mean bullshit sugar. I hate fucking added sugar. It's
But you don't have to
useless.
eat it. You can have a
It's
bowl of
useless.
sugar in front of you, John. You don't have to
Causes
eat it.
cancer and
You,
shit.
you don't have to eat it.
I hate fucking sugar. It is useless. Added sugar. Unless it's naturally occurring in nature and fruits and things like that. I fucking hate it. And my mom brought over baked goods and carbs and all the useless.
You could have thrown it in the garbage pail, John. You didn't have to eat
Starch.
it. You didn't have to eat it.
Starch and
You
carbs.
didn't have to eat
The
it.
only carbs I should fucking eat are from fruit.
And I bought a ton of fruit, John. You know, there's apples and pears and
I know-
raspberries
I know
and
how to
bananas.
get the-
You know,
I said to go to the grocery store and get all fruits, vegetables, and protein, high in protein.
so I got fruits. I got a lot of vegetables,
Left all the chicken breast off,
and
there's nothing substantial to eat except for my convenient mom's brownies and all this fucking bullshit baked goods.
No, there was
So
a
I'm so
big
hungry, it's
lentil
sitting
stew
right
I
the
had
fuck
made,
there,
and
so
I
had
made
to eat the
a
shit, 'cause
chicken
if it's in your
stir
house,
fry.
you eat that shit like potato
Didn't
chips
need to eat
and
that.
fucking,
And this is what I was.
useless.
You know, we are our own worst enemies.
Carbs and sugar.
You know,
it's shit.
Yep, we are our own worst enemies.
That's what makes people fat.
And that's why
what fucking cancer
What a
feeds off
cadre
of,
is
like,
about.
useless
You know,
cigarettes
cadre
and
is there to
shit.
help each other. You know, so we're not hung out.
Cigarettes are garbage. Nicotine is a useless pile of shit unless people use it here and there in ceremony or something just on rare occasions. Alcohol, not as bad for you if you're looking for something to make you feel a little happier, but it is pretty bad for you to have consistently. Fuck alcohol on a consistent basis.
So
Useless.
this is, you know, this is a situation that we need to learn from. You know, because we are
I
all.
paid $180 to get groceries.
And I spent 140, and I got
He
groceries.
left all the meat. He left all the protein. at
Because
the
when
grocery
the
store.
power went off, I bought $20. I got like 10 packs
He made me a little
of
tiny chicken breast.
you know, and
He made me a little tiny chicken breast.
and I
was so
didn't
hungry
check
with
it,
these
and I
baked goods
expected,
right
but they
on
took
hand
it
for me to fucking eat.
and put it back in the refrigerator, you know. And so when I got
So I
home,
can fit in with family members and
the
loved
chicken
ones.
was there, right?
So I can fit in with family members.
But I had a big
stew
stew that I made from a vegetable stew,
20 years older like that.
and I
one
had
video he put
a
up of me, it looked
chicken
like I was like
stir fry,
52.
and he
Shit.
ate boxes of cookies. It's not so much good
I
on
don't think
me.
it's 52. On some
This is
it
a lesson that we,
27.
again, reflects
That
on
was
us. We
awful.
all do this. We all do this. And I keep saying JB is the, canary in the coal mine, but we all do this. Right. So our life, one of the questions that JB puts up is like, what's the meaning of life? Why should I do this? What's going on? And I basically say that why are we here? We're here to navigate the situation, to learn, to ascend, to step forward. And what makes us happy is to make others happy, right? And that's kind of why we do this chat. We converse between each other and we bring insights to each other in a way that I really don't see anyplace else. And that's exactly it, being thankful for what we have, no matter what it is. Because my experience is things can always be worse. Not really, I eat and then I get satiated and that's it. I don't get hungry again. And I have been in the last year eating less and less and less. And I'm losing a pound or two here and there. And that's how you lose weight. Yep, clean out mucus. Yep. The root of most disorders. Yep, exactly, Inc. Very true. So what did you guys think of the Hambu? What did you think of Akasha K? I'm in the same boat, bud. But we get what we need, and that's a good thing. I mean, we live in a world not of scarcity. We live in a world of abundance. And we have experienced the going into state, going into our Akashic record, going into our sanctuary, using
Kind of Jesus to everybody that I fucking die.
the tree of knowledge into all those lands, and we can all, practice makes perfect, And that's what gets me through every day. When something's like really a challenge, and more than just that too. It's a deeper thing. And the whole essence of, a number of times taken you down the story of Lucifer and how when we showed up, we are a consciousness that has a free will. Well, there's a lot of self-aware things in this universe that has no free will. And that's what really pissed Lucifer, because he was the perfect one. Looked great, was cut. He was the movie star. He was the smart one. He was the illuminated one. And then we came along, some chucklelucks, and love's creation chose us over. So that's what the Big Bang was, when Lucifer
That's
broke
terrible.
heaven.
And he got so powerful that he runs all of hell.
Not hell. He runs everything, John. He runs the universe. This is Satan's universe, not love's universe. That's why things are so messed up in a way.
No, it's God, and it's God's universe, and then people sin too.
How do you know that, John?
It's not Satan's universe. Everyone's not pretty much nice to each other, nice to one another.
Because that's something different, John. That's their consciousness. That's their free will. but the universe, the whole friggin' universe, end to end, because the alpha and the omega, the universe is about 6 billion light years big, and or to 16 billion, somewhere in there. But it has a beginning and an end, whereas the great creator has no beginning and an end. And that's why this universe is Satan's universe. Now, we aren't.
This universe is Satan's universe.
Yep.
Yeah. Farts. Yeah. Feces. Satan.
So, John, the real deal here is that we get to choose. Satan doesn't get to choose. Satan's stuck. He's on his he's got his anchor, and he's going around and round and round,
Yeah, mix in the shit.
Yep.
Let the satanic ritual.
Right, and then that right there is a great example of being stuck, right? But we don't have to be, right? And every day in every way we can take the piece of the earth and make it stronger.
Yeah, mix some shit
with
in.
love's co-creation, right?
Some weird dude from Northern California.
John, I'm not taking this down. This is going to stay up. This is going to stay up, John. John, this is on the World Wide Web. This ain't coming down, buddy. This is not coming down.
Mixing shit.
Yep.
California.
Yep, this is not coming down, John. You call me Ishmael, yes. Some years ago, never mind how long precisely, having little or no money in my purse and nothing particularly interests me on shore, I thought I would sail about a little. Exactly.
He's the person who started all the forest fires.
Yep.
He's in his basement doing satanic rituals to make all the forest fires, wiping shit on himself.
This is going on the World Wide Web, John. It's not coming down. Because it is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. He is possessed. He is stuck. He's got great talent, great opportunity, great everything. And this is his performance art, Now, if he did it in front of a big audience, and now, hey, he's doing it in front of a big audience, that is a pretty amazing thing, that is a level of truth that most people don't go to, right? And that is, I keep going on about the alternative aesthetic. That's one of the little things we have to not try. That is one of the things we will do, right?
The creepiest man on earth, jarring his own shit so he can perform a satanic ritual, wiping on somebody's ass.
John, this is not coming down.
Yeah, the rituals in my basement.
This is
of Northern California.
This is on the World Wide Web, John.
Started all the
John,
fires.
This is on the World Wide Web.
Satan's name.
Yep.
I did satanic rituals with feces to make all the forest fires in California.
Well, I think I might go into a warmer spot.
And then like a big crowd of people holding torches going, hey, get him, he started all the forest fires, get him. And then accidentally start a fire like around his house, and he's going, yeah. And that's how Freddy Krueger really got started. He gets burned up in his house, and that's how Freddy Krueger really
John,
became
Freddy Krueger was a movie, a comic strip.
And he went back in time with Back to the Future with the Doc and Marty McFly and all them.
John, that didn't happen.
And he became Freddy Krueger in the 80s before all the forest fires happened.
So this is what I made, John, and I've been making something similar to this every day for the last month, right? And that's lentils and asparagus and onions and
A month?
yep. There's been one of those things, and this is the stir fry. This is chicken and celery,
Yeah, I
and
accidentally ate all this horrible baked food.
right, not accidentally. You physically did it.
Not the
You know, it
the
wasn't
big
like
brownies
it's not
and
like they
sweets.
fell into
The
your
brownies and
mouth.
sweets, and I looked like I was really trying to lose weight, and I accidentally ate these sweets and brownies.
Accidentally, you know, accident is, you know,
It's not that bad of a thing.
right. Well, good night, John. I'll see you in the morning.
You're gonna go to your room.
Yep. And continue without Freddy Krueger. Okay, buddy.
Okay, see if you can talk to somebody named Larry. You think Larry will show up?
I have no idea.
Hopefully not. Probably not.
Right. Good night, John.
Or maybe.
See you later, buddy.
Okay, good night. Bye.
So, you know, that was 26 minutes. I didn't think we need to really go through it any more than that. But again, it does represent, you know, and it's, you know, our world has always been representing, you know. You just look at his story, and it's one big representation, right? It's not the representation of the cadre or the clan or the chorus or the shock troop of love's co-creation. And all those things have been always there within the heart of the artist in the first person, right?
I want to apologize. Can I apologize?
Sure, John.
I'm really sorry I said that stuff and yelled about the food and having to eat the brownies and everything, and you not getting the chicken breast or whatever.
Right. Okay.
I'm really sorry.
Okay. But
I'm
you know
really
that
sorry.
that
I have my
energy,
makeup on from that.
it kind of
haircut.
affected me, you know.
I'm really
You know,
sorry.
my arms and legs and everything really hurt from that because
Why?
when you project that kind of anger and screaming and yelling,
I'm sorry.
it affects people, right?
I'm sorry.
And I had to do some real heavy meditation to get it out of me. You know?
Oh, terrible.
But you know, because you're my friend, John, I understand. You know, it's not the first time, so I understand. Okay, buddy, I'll see you in the morning. Okay, I'll
What
see.
would make you happier? Look like I'm fat?
No. I don't want. I want you to be what you want to be. You know, I want you to look the way you want to look. But John, you have to take. You know, it wasn't a mistake you ate those cookies. You could have thrown them away. You could have not taken them from your mom, and you could have not eaten them. Period. You know, and it wasn't
I'm
my
really
fault. It
sorry.
wasn't my
I feel
fault.
bad because I looked in the kitchen. It's hard getting all the right stuff when you go to a grocery store.
No kidding, especially when the
I didn't
electricity
realize
went
that,
off.
and I felt bad for saying what I said.
Right.
Because I'll go in there sometimes and like. forget
Again,
things and
there
stuff,
is
and
a
I'm
like I
sorry.
said, I got you your cat food. I got you, you know,
I
the
started yelling. I hate Kroger.
right. I know, and you've done
I
that
screamed
before.
out like so.
But
maybe
John-
people out there would hear it.
I appreciate and I accept your apology. Okay, buddy.
Okay.
I'll see you in the morning.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
Look, I like Kroger. It's good.
Holy moly! And that's a sad thing because he really is like. I mean, it was. I don't know if any of you ever experienced. You're in a very violent place. You know, someone is going to take a baseball bat to your head, and that kind of anxiety. That's what he projects. Now, he doesn't do that. He could, but he doesn't. And I can shamanically tamp it down and get to that place. But John is not the only person doing this. The world is doing this. The universe is doing this. And that is the issue. Of course, and we all are on meds. It's called chemtrails. It's called, um, it's called sugar. I mean, his mother, she's an Italian, and she makes these amazing Italian cookies. I mean, right? And he liked them when he was a little kid, so she makes them and gives them to him, and he like thinks that she's trying to thwart his dreams. Well, he doesn't have, when she hands him the big box of them, he doesn't have to take it. Thank you, Mom. I really appreciate it. I'll have one here with you, but I can't eat these. It's like me. I can't eat that kind of stuff, or it'll kill me, physically kill me. So I don't eat it, right? I mean, I loved it. Like I said, I spent a good 18 years swimming in the pool of chocolate mousse, but we are our own worst enemy, and that is the name of tonight's show, and that's why I put us all through that, because man, what I was put through for an hour and a half before I went on live. That's why I started 10 minutes early, just to try to wind it down. And it's because John, and 90% of the world's population runs its life on its vagus nerve. The stuff we put in our gut creates all kinds of chemicals that affect our hormones, or hormones affect our emotions, and we go off to the races. Why do people shoot people when they're drunk? I mean, this is all of what it is. And everyone's different. I mean, eating a cookie could be like drinking a martini to some. It's and I had to come near death again to go, okay. I'm gonna be on my aesthetic way, right? And this is what community is about, and why our world is so screwed is because everywhere we see a war going on, Syria, Yemen, in Africa, Ireland, Poland, Ukraine, Russia, China, all of these places are experiencing what John just showed us. Spin class, yep. Yes, and it's really tough for them. I mean, they really have to be, a Libra that's in balance is unstoppable. One that's like John, it's like, and he's my friend, so I don't give up on him, even though he puts me through the ringer at least once a week, if not more. And last year, he threw me out of the house, like in the middle of snowstorms at midnight. And again, it's not and the real deal is that I observe is that people blame mommy and daddy and this person and that person. Why don't they do this? Why can't I have this? And I tried, no, all the things that I've achieved is because, okay, I want to do this. I focus on it. I navigate to it, around it, through it. Whatever obstacle comes my way, I deal with it. I don't, cry and say it's somebody else's fault. I mean, I have to do this all the time. I mean, Thursday I have to get my eyes operated on. And that's like every 90 days. Well, I want to see, so I let him do it. Luckily, the guy who owns that hospital is my bud. And, I'd have to pay $3,800 every time this happens. But he does it for me. He put me on a program where I'm, like his lab rat. And that's okay. Yes, I saw that. That was quite interesting. Yep. And you're right, I mean, so that's one thing I want to really figure out is how can we create, using either YouTube or some other platform where we can all put things down and we can all share them and we can all see them, right? Now they're on, what people do for me is you folks send links just like Inc. did to my the Dude Awake 42 at Gmail, and then I go look at them, right? But is there a way that we could, because I want to try and send this stuff to everybody else, and it can only do it individually, and I can't just, meaning I have to put your address in there, and I don't type well, and I can't, barely can't see, and, it would be really, I mean, in this day of automation, there's got to be somewhere where you can set something up. And as we bring the circus together, I mean, this is, back in the day when I was a 10-year-old, I lived on 69th Street and Lexington Avenue. And what was the name of my school? Huntington. No. There was the Council for Foreign Relations and the Hunter. And in the Council of Foreign Relations, they had all these offices, but they had a public lobby. They had all their little flyers of what they would do, and blah, blah, blah. And one thing they had that was truly amazing was this thing called Automation House. And Billy Kluver, this is where I met Billy Kluver at 10. And then I found out that he knew Madame Olga Kluver. They had the same last name, spelled differently and not related. She was an eternal, he was, 80 years old. He looked pretty good for 80. It'd be nice if I could look as good as he did at 80. Anyway, an Automation House was this thing that was showing whoever walked through that door, and this is like 1964, give or take, and this is before my mom walked me down 3rd Avenue and went into Mike Stahl's office, and Billy knew Grandpa Stahl. So anyway, went in there, and they were showing things that aren't even advertised today, and they had this great little, it was Mylar and balsa wood, and it was a T. Thompson Brown little device, and it was basically anti-gravity. This thing probably, it was pretty big. It's like 3 foot. It was a little stubby. It looked like it was a stubby pyramid, but it was, if you put metal on it, it would look like a saucer. And it put a current, and this is what gravity is. It's just like an airplane. Why does a airplane fly? It's because of the wing. The way there's an effect that the air at the bottom is lighter than or the air at the top is lighter than one at the bottom, so it rises, right? Well, with gravity, electrogravitics is you put a high voltage current on either the top or the bottom, and then put another kind of current on the other side, and the thing lifts and moves around. You can push it around, and it creates a field all the way around it. And they had little demonstration models like this at Automation House. And they had robots, and they had artificial intelligence, and this is like 1964. And Arthur C. Clarke, they had a film of Arthur C. Clarke at UNIVAC. And what was truly amazing was when that movie was being done, I had a friend, Harvey Kleiman, and his father worked at UNIVAC. He was really amazing. He worked on the English Machine during World War II with, what's his name? Anyway, the film so we were at UNIVAC when this film was made with Arthur C. Clarke, and he had a pack of cigarettes. And the machine, the UNIVAC computer, which was the grooviest machine of the time in the 50s, was like made more noise than a jet, than a 747. And they had a mic, a directional mic, so it just picked his voice up. It didn't really get, the din was a little, you could hear his voice over everything. And what he was saying, he held this pack of cigarettes, and he goes, in the near future, And he points at this gigantic computer that took up the whole frigging building. He goes, this computer will be fit into this pack of cigarettes. And this is way before they had semiconductors, but he knew about it. And they showed semiconductors at Automation House. So you should go, Council on Foreign Relations, Automation House, right? And that's kind of where I really got enamored. I mean, I was enamored with electricity and enamored with geometry, but the whole concept technology, healing has already had. Yes, you visualize the. How do you think I survived? How do you think I lost 270 pounds? I visualized it. How do you think I just survived? I mean, you can't believe the energetics that John pumps out, and that's because it's not his parents' fault. It's the universe's fault, right? John is a sensitive dude, He has amazing talents, a great heart. He's really, really, but he does this as a Libra. He is the worst case scenario for a Libra, and you can just watch it, and that's why I, go, see the Jimmy part where he was sweet, really nice, right, and it hurts my heart. I mean, it really, my heart is hurting. Now I know that when it hurts like this, if I don't, change it shamanically, I'll, keel over, because it's happened before. So, I already took care of that. But that doesn't mean the cortisol isn't making, like, my neck kill and my shoulders hurt and my joints in my elbows hurt, And that's what humans do to each other. They just hose each other down with cortisol and adrenaline. Yes, exactly. The whole group is called Dreamy Dreamland. Yep. That's exactly it, gang. That's our title, or the university. It's going to be called Dreamy Dreamland. The Institute for Aesthetically and Adept and Appropriate Dreamy Dreamland Technology. Right. But he's not physically violent, but he is, karmically, energetically violent. And the person he's most violent is to himself. Because, guys, come on. Fear me? I don't think so. Because I can sense when something's going to happen and not be there. And I'm, you saw my teacher of martial arts, right? If you went to the Hambu, Master Akasha-K's Hambu, then, that is where I was schooled in martial arts and, self-defense. Let's see. As long as the link post. Yes. Nope. Okay. Dragon didn't get it. Crap. And guys, okay, I think we're in 44-minute land and 44 seconds. So in the next 10 minutes, we're going to go into state. And I think we're going to go back to Master Akasha-K's Hambu. And we're going to go through Arcanas. And we're going to meditate there with our master. And we are going to learn about 911, how to get out of harm's way, right? Because I think that is the most important. And the other thing we will learn is how to heal whatever psychic punishment or violence has been put upon us, because not all violence is physical. And within our illusion-based universe, majority of the violence is psychic. All the folks being, I mean, there's so many people being abducted. There's so many people, being affected by MK Ultra. And the thing is that you don't have to be taken away as a baby and molested. We are molested by just watching television. Hi, Rab. Dragon, Jane, Fish. Yes. Love Bruce Lee work. Yep. That's what we're going to be doing tonight. Yeah, so far it hasn't come through. Yep. Okay. And this is the kind of thing that I'm talking about. I think we all need to, someone of the cadre took shows of Dreamy Dreamland and put them up on Facebook. I think that's amazing. What I'd love that individually, if you are drawn to do something of that you would take that show, and I don't know if you have the technological way to do it, but remember that Science Fiction Theater 2000 or 2800 or whatever it was, and they would show these grade B science fiction movies, and then they'd have the robots in shadow like they were in the movie theater making comments. I would love it if as many of you could do something of that nature with, man, I got almost 200 of these things. I'm knocking 2 of them a day out. And so are you. Dreamy Dreamland, it ain't just me, it's us. And so I would love it if that could be put up on Facebook in not just one place, but every individual person who finds that, yes, this should be fun. I would love to do this. That they would do it and start their own Facebook and put it up there, and their own YouTube and put it up there, and bring in their own cadre. And then if we could somehow link all these things up, because John, I keep doing things on John's channel, and he keeps putting them up, and they're getting monetized. And again, I'm not, I don't care about that at this moment, because I know at a certain point, guys, this is going to go beyond viral, and we are going to get a lot of support, right? And especially if we put it into the 501c3 context of Humanities Artists Trust International and the Institute for Aesthetically and Adept Appropriate Dreamy Dreamland Technology, and the Dragons of the Art Circus, and whatever else you guys want to tack onto it. And that's the beauty of having a 501c3 umbrella. We got to have 100 institutes and programs and things in all of your towns and countries and cities. We are the cadre. We are the bards of the Johnny Appleseed movement, right? We are that pebble in the pond bringing love's tsunami to the universe. Because there's so many representatives on this planet at this time, thousands and thousands of all kinds of species, right? And a good number of them have free will, but more don't. And the way we are going to be able to get everyone on the bus and bring them home is that we have to bring them to love's co-creation, and they have to choose. We don't force them. And by doing that, they will have free will, and we will all be all our relations. And this is the task that is put in front of us, right? And when we go into state in a few minutes, and we go into Akashike's Hambu, Akashike is going to speak on this, on the whole concept of martial arts and what it's about. And it's first and foremost, it's not about kicking somebody's ass. No, it's to represent through our example. Hey Jane, what it is, Discord won't let you. We're here for you. I search in Discord. Yep. Do. I have a friend in this town who's probably, hey, I have a master's in social work, Hey, I was a shrink. And I quit because I had other and more interesting things to do, and virtually every shrink I ever knew or worked for was nuts. Way more than the folks who they were allegedly treating. But I have a friend in this town who's probably one of the 5 best shrinks that I know, and I know a lot of them, right? And he's so great because he's a shrink, he's a therapist, he works at the VA. I mean, he could be making a lot more money. He has a private practice, but he's at the VA. He's a jazz musician. He's a martial artist. He teaches, he has his own hambu, and he teaches Tai Chi, Qigong, instead of, he's very good at Aikido, and but he teaches, Tai Chi and Qigong, and he's just loads of fun, a great guy, and he's booked up, for another century. And I called him up and said, hey, I have this guy, and because he knew me, he said fine. So I drove John there physically, right? Lined him up with the thing, and I got him the number, got him the, appointment, got him, because the guy doesn't just take anybody. And John was going to go, and he stood the guy up, right? So that was a great opportunity. And this guy is like, he is the jujitsu of psychology. Dragon, I would love it if you did that. And again, send them to that P.O. Box 1165 in Virginia. Yeah. Again, it's way deeper. And at this point in my life, John actually needs someone like my friend, but he blew him off. So, again, these choices, John went off the hook, not just because he drank coffee, but he ate all that sugar and super high, processed everything. And her baked goods are amazing. But like I said, he didn't have to eat them. He didn't have to even take them from his mom. And once he got him here, he could have thrown him away, right? And I didn't even know he had him, and he blamed me for, him eating them. So, and again, it is not John. It's not like, ooh, he's a bad guy, blah, blah, blah. No. It's, so it took me 10 years to gain 275 pounds working for the Desperate Lawyers. Well, it took me 5 years to lose that weight. It took me another 2 years to shamanically, paste myself back together. And every day and every way, I make myself a little bit better, Every day and every way, every week, I lose about a pound, give or take. And that's the thing that really irks John, is that, 6 months ago, I was probably 30, 40 pounds heavier than I am now. And, I kind of, I don't have that belly anymore. I don't have the jowl. I don't have a lot of those things. And the other things I have as a old dude, they don't bother me, Yep, angry young man syndrome. Plus, put on the environmental kicker, and there you go. And basically, a good portion, I just see so many angry young men. And it's one thing to be an angry young man. It's what you do with that anger. If you can channel that anger into, positive outcomes, well, that's not so bad. Now, I was never an angry young man, but I was a motivated young man. I wanted to see change. And I had all these great teachers, instead of just letting me masturbate in my angry young man state, they said, no, buddy, let's go do this, when I was in Sensei's ashram, I took all of my energies and, I chopped wood and I started, I kept all the fires in the hambu and in the sanctuary going. I raked all the paths. I, washed everything, cleaned everything, did most of the cooking. I mean, there were 12 of us there, and 6 of them liked to cook. And, that's the thing. Someone complained that I was eating this morning and that I keep eating during the chats. I shouldn't do that. Well, screw them, because I like breaking bread with you all. That's why I do that. Everything I do, has a shamanic reason. Because I'm at a place in my life that I have to do this or I'd be friggin' dead. Yeah, exactly. And he's been waiting 8 years for his wife to come back. It's not going to happen. Go on his site and Danica, hit Danica. And, And, he says, oh, I can't go out with a woman because it might hurt Danica's feelings. It's like, come on. Yeah, getting a little job might help. And it doesn't have to be working at Burger King. He's got amazing talents. I mean, I knew the president at Hollins and at Roanoke College. And, I lined him up again with a interview. I took him there, and I took him to Collins and took him to the president, and he wouldn't go in the building. I mean, we all have jobs. I mean, I worked for most of my life, not to make money, but to hang out with people, to experience interesting environments, do different things. That's why I, had about 20 different careers. I didn't just stick with one thing, Yeah, sugar works like meth. No kidding. That's why, I can't take any of that stuff, Yeah, I can have a little cookie, right? Once once a month, Like his mom's baked goods are like my grandma's. So, I had one. During Thanksgiving, I had one. Didn't kill me. And, sugar, alcohol, nicotine, caffeine, heroin, cocaine, methamphetamine, they all go to the same receptors in the brain. They do the same dopamine thing. They do the same thing to your vagus nerve. It does this ecstatic flight or fight thing. Yes, Rich, I would go in. I mean, think about John. He's got every kind of neuroses and psychoses and you name it, but he's not nuts, right? He's a Libra, and he's totally out of balance. So that's where he's at. Right, and I'm the closest thing that gives him experience of feeling the love. I'm his friend, right? And so for the but when right now I can't. I have no warm place to be, and I got to be around my doctors. But when May shows up, I'm going back to the deep green. And that's why I spent from May to middle October. I didn't come back here. I came back here 4 different times to get taken care of by my doctor. And from May 1 to middle of October, I stayed 9 evenings here, right? Because I didn't want to be a enabler. And now that I've been here since October, what I do is I don't enable. I just as you saw me talk to him, I bring everything up. I don't sweep it under the rug. I talk logically, right? And yes, it takes an hour or two to do that, but it gets him balanced at a point. But he's in the same loop over and over and over. My favorite Elvis was Fat Elvis. So did you guys see me in Dreamy Dreamland when John had me dress up as Elvis at a piano, and he played an Elvis song, and I was doing it, and he shot it, as a film, and I shot it as a live chat, and yep. Fish, that's exactly, and that's like textbook, textbook. And John is highly skilled in many, he's an amazing musician, great guitarist, great drummer. When he was Jimmy, I said, John, why don't you bring, if, that guy who is the guy who's the clown who sings, right, has an amazing voice. It's like Polly Archie. And he's on the YouTube in a big way. If John just dressed up like Jimmy and played the guitar, he would be amazing. But he doesn't do it. He won't do it. No matter what. And I said, he goes, oh, I'm bored. I said, why don't you play the guitar? Well, I can't make any money and do. It's like, what? I mean, I write every day, and I don't do it to earn a living. I put things on the internet there at my xratted blogspot.com. Not to, it would be nice if some publisher, hey, look at this is kind of interesting, and got a hold of me and said, you need a agent and an editor. And I said, no kidding, because I got a lot of stuff. But I didn't put it up there for that per se. I put it up there so you could read it and experience the shamanic dynamic of how I put logo out, right? And I said, the person who put that up for me, who made that site, it's set up to be a publishing site. I don't know how to run it or how to use it, but I can, stick things on it. So anyway, I mean, these are all things, as time goes by, we're going to do it. Right now, we're in the middle of winter. Everyone's in a place except for Lucky Buddy, who's like in summertime. We're all pretty much in, all of us who are in Canada and East Coast America and England and Ireland. More England, Ireland get beat the crap out of. Yep. And that's, our going into state is our organic version of a video game. Yep, there's always no worries. Because what's interesting about us, the cadre, is that we say, do, dance around, but not only is this a no wrench environment, it is a no apology. My wife used to say to people, my second wife, saying you're sorry isn't good enough. And then if she likes you, would say it's a good start. Well, why she liked me is that I never, ever did anything that I had to apologize for. And she, was one of the only guys who was in that league. There's two things that bother me. Sex plus violent reactive mode. Yep. Needs help for someone. A pro. Right. I can't do it, and I shouldn't do it, I'm his friend. But I got him one of the best people I know, and he just didn't go there. And when he's been forced into that environment, what happens is the institutions basically look at him and say, well, okay, he's not nuts. And they, after a few days, they get so, just bored and annoyed, just like we were at the beginning of this chat, right? And I did that for a reason, I've put him in front of the camera a number of times just to show you, because he represents so clearly what is going on in our culture. Not just him, he really does. So is asparagus. Yep. And it is like performance art. It really is. But energetically, it takes... you guys are lucky that you're semi-shielded via the digital divide. Yes, you got it right, Fish. It's a part of the autism spectrum. Exactly. Drug psychosis is nothing like what he's got going on. And the thing, it is so... it's almost hard to describe, because it doesn't rest, why the average poorly trained, overworked, and non-empathetic social worker deals with John is that he doesn't represent anything in the DMS or DSM. And, he's on the edges of things. And so is our whole freaking society. Look at Donnie Trump and everyone in his government. Well, I'm saying it is a psychotic, reaction. But it's, what I'm interested in is that it is a deeper, stranger psychotic. You just can't put it, in quotes, Jane. This is something different. And that's, this is a laboratory to me. This is, I'm it's not just, I could go someplace else. I got friends in other places. But, part of my storyline, if you haven't figured it out, was that, up until about 32, I had all these great opportunities. I had all these different directions. I had all these people. I had all these things. And I went and did them all at the same time. And then I never came, and I had these places, about 5 different times. I was in a place. That was really great. And I didn't stay there. I moved on. And that's because I had all these other things. It's like on your smartphone, you got apps running in the background. I had all these other things going on. When I was about 32, I realized that once I got involved in something, I needed to stay with it and finish it up and then move on. and then I wouldn't have to go back. New York City was a place I always went back. It was a great place to go back until it wasn't. After 1982, it wasn't a really great place to go back to. And the people, my buddies and my loved ones and my friends who are still there, they're like stuck there. They have rent controlled apartments that they couldn't go anyplace else in the world like that city and only pay $200 for, right? So they're stuck in the sixth floor walk up and they're my age, right? Anyway, I never did that. I kept moving, right? Until I realized, I'm not getting the full value of these experiences because I got these things running in the background. So I started to finish. I'm involved in this, like New York. Had all these things running in New York. I spent about 4 or 5 years, and I finished everything. And I moved to, I had the door opened. One closes, the other one opens. Door opened up to go to Cornell. And I did, and I really learned how to get on the gravy train of the research. I was a, what do you call them? Not an adjunct, no. I was a consultant. And you get paid pretty good, and you get to do what you want. And I did that. I learned how to do that, and so for 10 years, I did that. I did it at Cornell. I did it in Asheville, North Carolina. And when I was in Asheville for 9 or so years, I was at Cornell for 3. I was at Asheville for about 9. And when I was there, I used my connections through Asheville's University of North Carolina, Asheville, very strange place. A lot of heavy things go on there underground. The physics department is like so darpered out, and that's because they're just a stone's throw from Oak Ridge, and Asheville has some pretty strange laboratories, just like Ithaca does. Anyway, so I learned to I'm involved in this. I'm going to do it 100%. So, between 2006 and 2014, I was in Roanoke. I was in the deep green, and I was down in the Florida Keys, and I was a demographer for entities that were corporate in nature, but they were institutional. That was their cutout. And so I did that, and then I kind of stumbled into working for the serious part of the fascist corporate state of the desperate lawyers and contract law, and I did that for 8 years. And so I did all these things, and again, I had all these things running in these 3 different places logistically. I never stayed in any, like the school, I never stayed here more than, 2 months, 2.5 months, 3 months. It was beautiful, I would stay here. When it was beautiful in the deep green, I stayed there. And then in the winter, I went to the Florida Keys, and I had work in all these different places. Then, I overstayed my bounds of doing that, and I got really sick from it, right? And so now I'm, cleaning up everything, cleaning up every place that I was in those, I guess, 11 years, 12 years. And the door is opening. The cadre here, this whole little project we're putting together here, right? And you folks have dropped in, and you are special. You're beyond special, we are, dreamy dreamland. We are dreamy dreamland, not me. We. Now, I'm your shamanic, psychosocial, cultural, forensic anthropologist, alchemist. So, yes, I am got the pointer out for, what you guys, you are trail masters, so. And the fact that you're all over the friggin' planet, it's like, can be very scary and also very, thought-provoking and very growth-producing. Right, Fish. Man, I mean, why do you think I don't practice it? I mean, I have a master's, master's in social work is the grandest of all shrinky D certificates because you can do anything, counselor, or even if you're a psychiatrist, you're very limited. But a master's in social work allows you to do anything, work for anybody. And I did it for the 3 years that I was going to school, and I kind of did the whole thing because when I was in school at Chapel Hill, and I was I was getting that degree at Chapel Hill, but I was at Western in North Carolina and at UNCA. And I did my work because I was working through programs in all of those schools. I worked in hospitals and jails and school, all the kinds of things. And that's kind of where I got my experience. So while people matriculate, it actually worked. So I do it. Kind of rolled it up and stuck it someplace and moved on to something else, into demographics because I was doing more social science kind of things and I was looking at it through trends rather than textbooks. Let's see. Soldiers awake and alert. Also, Japanese kamikaze pilots. Yep, Yep. Keep them going like a machine. Yep. Same with methadone. That was invented by the Nazis. And the nasty thing about methadone is you can't get off it. Once it gets in those receptors, you're there for life. You'll find that isn't right. Yes. The video that Ink sent me was quite interesting, and he was right about. I watched the whole thing, but I skip around. I mean, I kind of went through it on fast forward after taking the speed reading course by Evelyn Wood. And what I like in my writing, if anybody looked at my writing, you almost have to read it 6 times to get it. And that's how I like to read everything. I like to read things at least 3 times. I skim it, then I kind of read it, and then I take it apart. And man, those people should go to jail. Big Pharma, Bayer, all of those people, they knew it. I mean, I've read all of their reports that were dug out. And see, that's the real problem, is that, the government does something, you can go to FOIA request if you know what you're looking for and you can get the information. But when things are done in a corporation, it's all proprietorial. And that's why Zero Point Energy, Gravo, you go read the journals of the 50s, they had it all down. And then it disappeared. Yes, and I got him a big bottle of it. Nope, doesn't take it. What I gotta, sit on his chest and throw it down his throat? That's what he, blamed me, where he ate a whole freaking thing of cookies. No wonder he was totally psychotic, He is really sensitive to that stuff, and he's addicted to it. You can't, that's why he's flabby and fat, and no matter how many weights he lifts, And why do I lose a pound or so every 2 weeks? Is because I'm not eating that crap. I can't. I'll die. And I feel it in my body, just like I'm feeling the cortisol that John hosed me down with. Okay, I'll give it a try again. Yes, and I do my best. Again, I'm his friend. I can't do it. And I've found the best people in this town, and he won't go see them. And it is from deep pain, from trauma, and very, not just mommy and daddy trauma. And that's why he represents our culture, because it's that kind of trauma. Yep, that's exactly true, Fish. Trailblazing, yep. And that's what we're doing here at Dreamy Dream. We're all trailblazers, yep. Well, he talks about it all the time, but people who talk about it tend not to do it, you know. And before I go from here, and springtime comes, or one of you comes to get me, I'm going to make a big effort. But I've talked to his family, and they just, they like the fact that I take care of them up here. It'd be nice if they paid me a salary. I mean, I ran a group home. I used to make $1,500 a week doing what I do for John. It is our business, Yes, it's Dreamy Dreamland's business. Yeah, that's very helpful there. Yep. Burdock, yellow dock, yep. And these are all things that I've taken over the years to deal with things. And they're very, very good. These herbs and meditation and a conscious mind can handle anything. Cayenne, golden seal. My God, I love cayenne. If you've got any kind of indigestion, internal bowel thing, cayenne is the thing. And I had a herb teacher, and in one of his lectures, he had all these bowls of all the herbs that you just mentioned, and he took a handful of cayenne pepper and just packed his eyeball with it, and it was stuck in his eyeball, and the tears like were a waterfall and washed it out, and it was amazing because 10 minutes later his eye was as clear as you can see. Slippery elm. Yep. Right. And I've been doing, for 2 years, all of everything that you guys have, because I get all these herbs for myself, and I said, John, why don't we try this together? Just like the chicken thing, right? And there's, the thing that, I bought about $20, or I got $20 worth of chicken, and then the power went off, and then I went away for 20 minutes and came back, and they had everything, packed up and in a cart, and I paid for it, and I went out. Now, I didn't read, I had, all these things of chicken breasts. I expected them to be there. They weren't. And, it's my fault. There's some kind of conspiracy between the supermarket, me, and his parents, But, he ate probably 20 cookies. And now these cookies are, like crack cocaine. Her cookies are like amazing, and they're so good because she puts love in them. Now you're not supposed to eat them all at once, and that's what he did. After I gave him this really nice dinner of a chicken breast and cabbage and onions, and I gave him a big plate, and that should have been enough to satiate him. And And I said, John, you want some more? And he goes, oh, no, no, no. I was like, and I said, there's some stew there. And I showed you guys the stew and the stir fry, and that was sitting on the thing. But what did he do? He ate 20, 30 cookies that are like, each one was like a methamphetamine chocolate bar. So, okay, so it's at 1 hour and 30 minutes, we're going to go into state and go to Akashike Zambu. And we're going to study, spiritual jujitsu. Right. No, the whole thing about Dreamy Dreamland is free will. We're here to manifest free will for all our relations. That's the bottom line. And this is our laboratory, The little germ in the test tube, he's part of the laboratory, John's part of the laboratory. We all are part of the laboratory. I am, you are, we all are, right? None of us are above that, and that's why we co-create with love, because we don't let our ego go, well, I'm better than that, then we're pretty Luciferian. Okay. Is there any way that we can do that, Twitchy, with every one of these, right? I mean, that's what I'm looking for, is some kind of protocol that we can all access things with each other without having to, one at a time, do an email. Because I haven't even figured out how to do batch emails. I don't even know how to look at the comments. Oh, you mean after it's posted, those comments, right? And how do I look at that, I mean, these are, see, I am such a neophyte on this technology. I kind of, it came around and was in front of me in the 80s, and I could have jumped on there, but then that would have been something, I kind of was in it at the forefront, but I saw, again, this is something I saw what it did to the people who were doing. I had a friend of mine who was a brilliant coder, and she came at it from the Library of Congress, right? And it sucked her soul, meaning we were good buddies. We'd go to movies, we'd go out to dinner, we would dance, we'd do all kinds of fun things. And DC is a kind of fun town if you can let it be fun. And we had a group of friends I was kind of mostly at the patent library, but there was a whole crew, and they were all librarians, and they were all super into, the early age of the internet, and putting up all the protocols, and way before anybody was doing anything. I mean, they were in the DARPANET days, right? And anyway, that girl got sucked into. So we were tight, and once she started to lose herself, I would go, and I would see that glow, drive by her house, and in the window I'd see the glow, all the lights would be off, and the glow of her screen was on, and I would stop, and I'd knock on the door, when it was an appropriate time, between 6 and 8, and say, hey, let's go do some, or can I have a cup of tea, or, an ink, right? We just mentioned urine therapy, and people lose their shit on that. It's no, it's no big, it's when I tell people about this, when I do it in front of people, because I do it, when I'm feeling a little, oh, I need this, it really, and I'm a big fan of muscle testing myself and just doing the micro amount, because I find the micro amount works better than, the only thing I take on a regular thing is vitamin C. But, I knock back some urine, at least a couple of times a month when I feel, I just need a shot glass. And I did that in front of John once, and he lost it. And I've seen other, I've done it in front of other people, and they've lost their shit. And I guess if I'm gonna look at any of this stuff that's on Facebook, I'm gonna have to get a Facebook account again, right? I would love some intermediate hub that we could set up, that we could all use all these different platforms without having to use all their platforms. The best thing that we can do for John is to pray for him. That is in our wheelhouse, and something without, like a intervention. So we can do a spiritual intervention. And that, my friends, in a lot of ways is more powerful than anything else. Well, the one guy who I told you about, the shrink jujitsu, he is a minister, right? Oh, there is. But, again, Roanoke, Virginia is the microcosm of America. It's got a slice of every pie. So there's every kind of self-help group, blah, 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 blah. And I've worked for all of them in the last 18 years here. I've written them grants. I've been a counselor to them. I've been, a strategist for them. And there's 600 spiritual groups in this city, in this valley. 2 do anything for the public. There's only one church that keeps its door open. And it's not even 24/7. It's like from around 5 a.m. to about midnight, right? So that period between midnight and 5, and there's no door open. Well, I've had to watch my back way worse than this. And, I have, okay, in about 2 minutes, after I keep looking through all this chat, we're going to go into state. And one of the things we're going to talk about is protection, right? And you'll see the protection I have. They really can't. This is a place that a 2-mile long skating rink driveway. Yeah, 30°C temperature. Yeah, that's a death sentence. And last year he kicked me out when it was the coldest in January. It was like 10 degrees is like minus 40 C, right? It was like unbelievable. And I stumbled into some amazing things. I've told that story a few times. I'll tell it again, but not tonight. And that's, the universe protects me because I serve love's co-creation. And no one in this community I'm the only person, even his family won't really help him. Yeah, that's one thing I don't have is access to internet on a laptop. And like I said, we are, you know, just at the start of this. So we're moving forward. We're doing all of this nice little, you know, housekeeping, creating vehicles and ways of, like I said, a hub. And I have a sense that we are going to create some kind of app or something of that nature that will be a hub that we will be able to facilitate all that we want to do, and we will then bring it out into the larger community, and it will again enable love's co-creation. We will be the first vehicle of a digital domain's access to love's co-creation. Because yes, a lot of people have websites and YouTube things about this, that, and the other thing, but it doesn't really represent all our relations, you know? Boop, 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 bye. Yes, as long as I've known him. Yep. And gang, we always have to be honest, right? And when we get triggered, again, we don't let our vagus nerve take over. We have to deconstruct. We have to forensically look at what's bothering us and pull out those threads, right? Kind of poking with those questions, yeah. And the thing about Jane is she's coming from a place where energetically I can see that she really is concerned and wants to help. But within Jane, inside the vagus nerve of what you're doing, is that motif of the hero. And we all have it in us where we can fix this. And really, John is the only guy who can fix it. We can assist. And the information of the herbs, I'm going to bring that up to John again. And when we can get out of here, I'm going to take him to the herb place. And I'm also going to take him to my friends, the really good shrink again. I'm going to give him a call and see if I can try and do this again. Sheesh. Again, guys, the best thing we can do when we pray tonight, we're putting all that energy into John, and not into his ego, but into the shattered id. Because that's where the real problem is. It's not his ego. It's not his subconscious. It's not his superconscious. It's his id. Again, guys, we never have to say, it's a good first step to say you're sorry, but we don't have to, right? And we just have to be honest and keep pulling on those threads, right? Essential oils, yeah, aromatherapy, yeah, these are all things I do. And I try to get him to do it, and he just, you know. I mean, I've tried to muscle test him. I've tried to show him about cranial sacral. I mean, he won't let me touch him, period. I mean, touching his head is like So these are all triggers. He has some issues. Like I said, stuff that's going on is like super deep, but it represents not just you know him. It's a larger picture. It's the Luciferian culture, and we're all in it. It affects us all. But here at the Cadre, we have each other. A, B, we all of us have come out the other side, and C, all of us had at some point in our childhood, our adolescence, our young adulthood, had a guide or assistance or a nurturing force, because I can sense it in all of you. And 80%, at least 80% of the population of this earth hasn't had any of that. I tried. That's what Jimmy is. That's where Jimmy came from. Jimmy is still up there. We did that this afternoon, and it's up there, and he wants me to take it down, and I will, but not right this minute. So go take a look at Jimmy after we close up. Okay, look. Oh, there it is. 1 hour, 41 minutes, and 41 seconds. Right. Okay. So is everyone up for going into meditating? Going to Akasha K's Hambu? Okay. Yep. Well, that's why I like you, Fish. You're a Cancer Pisces. I mean, I like every sign. I'm an Aquarian. So Aquarians, we love everybody's sign. There isn't a sign I don't like. The toughest one is, I've had is this Libra thing, right? When Libras are balanced, they are the bomb. When they're like, John, ooh, baby. Okay. So everyone get in a comfortable position. Oy, oy, oy. Oy, oy, oy. Okay, I'm going to plug in my battery charger just so my battery doesn't die in the middle of this. I've turned down all of my volumes. Okay. Are we still here? Is everyone connected? No. Slide this. Are we still here, gang? Do you hear me? You all here? Yoo-hoo! After some messages such as spam. Yes, we're all here. Okay, good. Okay. I'll turn off the bright light. Okie dokie. Okay, everyone get set, get comfy. And one. You get that? I'm going to count from 1 to 3, and as I do, you're going to go into a deep, deep, deep state of relaxation. Your conscious mind will be totally focused on your breath. See it clearly. And 1. You're breathing 20% in. You're lifting your diaphragm as you breathe. You're breathing in through your nose. And then you're breathing 30% out your mouth. And by doing so, breathing that 30% out, you're expelling a tremendous deal of chemical waste. Your breath eliminates more waste than your urine or feces or your sweat. See that clearly. Breathe in 20% and out 30%. And as you're doing that, you're breathing in the prana. It's filling your lungs. All those little sacs, all those are transversing the prana into your blood as your heart pumps that iron-rich blood through your lungs. The prana is transformed into the cellular structure of your blood, and as your blood gets pumped through your body, it's not going blub, blub, blub. It's like swirling, it's swirling, it's swirling, it's swirling. Clockwise, and then inside of that, counterclockwise, and inside of that, clockwise. And that is creating a polyphase alternating current of scalar energy. And that is spiritual energy. That is the prana. See that clearly. And now I want you to just flush your body, your psyche, your spirit with this psychic energy of love's co-creation. Feel it in every cell. See your mitochondria just, a blitz with this current, right? And at this minute, we're going to experience a group healing. By what we experienced with John, that affected all of us. I mean, I feel it, and watching and reading your chat, I can see it's affected. Not only can I, shamanically feel the effect on all of you, I can read it, and so I can forensically say, So at this moment, we are charged together. We're in a circle, we're holding hands, and we are lifting all of our chakras up, right? And expelling with our breath the toxicity of John's emotional imbalance. See it clearly. And by doing this, by balancing ourselves together, we are resonating a pulse at John's frequency that will heal him. And tonight, he'll get a great night's sleep. And tomorrow, he will be in a state where I'll be able to talk to him. See it clearly. And one, you're in a deep, deep, deep state of relaxation. Your conscious mind is totally focused on your breath. The little squirrel in your Rolodex is starting to go to sleep. You're in a safe and secure position, and all I have to do is snap my fingers and you'll be right back here. See it clearly. I ask you to not cross your legs, your arms, your fingers, your eyes, because what that does, your body is a current of fields. And when you and your body, you've got two legs, so one leg is one charge and the other leg is the other. You cross it, you cross the field. Your arms are the same, your fingers are the same. So that's why I ask you not to cross anything. And it's also much more comfortable when you are in state, when your autonomic system is running, your avatar as a an automatic pilot, it makes it easier for that system. Just if you're at that baseline of nothing crossed, it enables you not to be disconcerted by any uncomfort that you might arise from crossing things. So I hope that clears that up for you guys. See it clearly. And when I use the term avatar, I know within the Vedic and other disciplines, avatar means a lot of different things. I'm just talking about the Cameron movie avatar, the big blue guys, because that's kind of what we are. We are that bag of water, right? So see that clearly. And this is what forensic anthropology and shamanism and psychology, sociology, and alchemically dynamic disciplines are. We try to find the best structure, and that starts with thought, which leads to word, which leads to action, which leads to deed, which leads to outcome. And that is one of the base primers of Dreamy Dreamland. Good thoughts, good words, good actions, good outcomes. See it clearly. And your body is totally energized and you're healing. And when something goes awry, if we address it immediately, then the healing doesn't take a great deal. So whatever effect John had on all of us, and John did, and continues to, because once you get to know him, it's like that thing is right there. And what we are doing is that we are healing John with all our prayers. And what John is offering us is, again, he is a simulator. If we can assist John to find balance and create a life that he can live, that can serve love's co-creation and not his ego and not the fear of his id, then we've done something, you know? We've totally done something. See it clearly. So, first and foremost, heal ourselves individually, because you can't help anybody. So it's like being in an airplane. Put the oxygen mask on yourself before you help the child, right? You have to help yourself first before you can help anybody else, right? So first we help ourselves, and we help each other individually by helping everyone in the cadre. See that clearly. By doing that, that's everyone putting on the oxygen mask themselves. See that clearly. And then we help heal all of us, and all of us helps heal each of us. See that clearly. All for one and one for all. See it clearly. We are the cadre musketeers. We all have those big hats. We all have rapiers of humor and insight and discipline and compassion and empathy. Those blades will cut to shreds the Luciferian illusion of separation and fear. See it clearly. Oh. And every day and every way we take the peace of the earth and make it stronger. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil, as it was in the beginning, is now, ever shall be, world without amen. As it was in the beginning, is now, ever shall be, world without amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for our sinners now and the hour of death. Amen. As it was in the beginning, is now, ever shall be, Let us take the peace of the earth through love's co-creation and make it stronger. Feel that peace rising from your chi up through you and being energized through the prana in every cell of our bodies. So all those aches and pains, all that undigested angst is being relieved. And in that relief comes the feeling of illumination, not through Lucifer's illusion of truth, but through love's co-creation, powered by the photonic light of all that is dark. See that clearly. That darkness, and in the beginning all things were dark, that darkness is the presence of every frequency of photonic light. See it clearly. And photonic light is the light that does not shed a shadow. See it clearly. Whereas Luciferian light is like fog. It confuses. It distracts. It keeps one from keeping one's eye on the ball. See it clearly. And one, in a deep, deep, deep state of relaxation, our conscious mind is totally focused on our breath. We have illuminated our whole body and grounded our energetics through our chi. And we have healed our physical body, our avatar. We have healed the chakras of our body through illuminating our cellular structure through our mitochondria. We have balanced our vagus nerve and our 9 pulses. And we are electrically connected, all of us together, the chorus. And now, the shock troops of love's co-creation, the bard masters of love, are illuminating themselves with a photonic light in their imaginary mirror and shining that light into our Akashic records, which is our subconscious mind, which is not a scary place. It's not where monsters are. It is simply a library of all our experiences. See that clearly. And 2, you're walking into your library. In front of you is a gigantic fireplace of the eternal flame. See it clearly. And in front of the fireplace is is a circle of chairs for our friends, like Bigfoot, and whatever ascended master who might be coming down the chimney. And right there's a nice coffee table with a tray of very nice nashi things, if you need a bite or a cup of tea, from all 3 of the cast iron teapots. See it clearly. And in every day and every way, you take the piece of the earth and make it stronger. Feel your body getting stronger and stronger. Feel all of the poisons leaving your body through your breath. Your conscious mind is totally focused on your breath, taking in that 20% and breathing out the 30. You're expelling more toxins through your breath out than you do in any other way. See it clearly. See your cellular structure being healed by the prana, and the fact that the flow is grounded through your chi. The chi is very important because with the chi, you can ground yourself into all things, all our relations. So by grounding oneself into all our relations, you can see and feel every creature within your proximity, you know? And this is one of the ways you understand, oh, wow, there's that lion just around the corner. Oh, the cop is waiting on his motorcycle just on the end of that corner there. Oh, it's going to rain. Oh, someone down the road is wants to hurt someone, and I'm going to make sure it's not me or someone innocent. See all of this clearing, and see how when you clear yourself, you awaken yourself. When you clear that vagus nerve, when you clear your chakras, when you clear your 9 pulses, this is where you balance yourself. And I want you to visualize in that light, in that photonic light, right in front of you. I want you to visualize a scale, and I want you to visualize it balanced. And that is affecting not only us, but John Birmingham. See it clearly. See John being able to take the responsibility and authority himself to heal himself, not through just himself, but going forth and asking for assistance. See it clearly. And 2, you're in a deep, deep, deep state of relaxation. Your conscious mind is totally relaxed. Your body's relaxed. And your consciousness has left your avatar. It is now in your Akashic record. You're sitting at your reading table in your reading chair, and the photonic light is coming from above, the sides, the below. There are no shadows. Your librarian is bringing you your Akashic record. You open it up. You put your right hand on the front right page. Put your left hand on the left page, and you lean into your Akashic record, and you eliminate, you evacuate all of your anger, all of your fear, all of your frustrations. See it clearly. And you're letting go of that anger. You're letting go of that anxiety. You're letting go of that deep-seated animosities. You're letting go of your own self-loathing. You're letting go of that envy. You're letting go all of those things that affect your vagus nerve, which affects all of your hormones, which affects all of your emotional states that are chemically and physically manifested within your avatar. See it clearly. And you put all of that into your Akashic record and you close the book. Boom. And now you float up from your chair and you feel so relaxed, so released, so rejuvenated, so refreshed, so focused, so connected to the cadre, and that you are the chorus because you have been part of the chat, and that you are the shock troops of love's co-creation. You are the masters of the bard. See it clearly. You will take and go past your discipline, your mastery of that individual thing that you have mastered, and you will embrace the concept that because you are a master of one thing, you can be a master of everything. And you don't do that with ego or false pride. No. You do it to serve love's co-creation. Because whenever you are called to do, you do not try, you accomplish. See that clearly. And to do that, to accomplish that you've been called to, you need to be a master at that skill set. And you have many skill sets in your toolbox and within the dynamic of the shaman. All shaman have a toolbox. And you have yours. See your toolbox. Actually, your animal totem is handing you your toolbox. See it clearly. And your animal totem will be your mentor and guide for the use of your tools. Your librarian will bring you whatever owner manual you might need. And your guardian angel will protect you from any unexpected consequences of using a tool inappropriately. See it clearly. And you feel tremendously better. And you have quieted yourself to the place where you can enter into your shortcut from your Akashic record into your lodge. So you don't have to go the long way around. You don't have to go into, through the open doorway of your id, over the bridge, into your sanctuary of your own choosing, your superconscious mind, going to the tree of knowledge, going through the crack, and going to our house. You're in the house. Your lodge is in the house of the Oracle of Delphi. See it clearly. And it looks like it is the house that Frank Lloyd Wright designed called Falling Water. See it clearly, because water is going right through the house. It's a big waterfall, and it's falling. See it clearly. And you find yourself in your lodge, sitting at your reading chair. That is a very comfy chair. And it is illuminated also by photonic light. And all things in your lodge are illuminated. You can't see any fixtures, but the light evenly comes from every direction, and therefore you have no shadows. See it clearly. And you're just kicking back, and your guide of your lodge comes in with a tray and with tea and a little snifter of ambrosia and these cookies that John consumed without any consciousness, where he just shoved them in his mouth and, inhaled 40, cookies. Well, there's 3 cookies on the tray representing each of the type that John consumed without any consciousness, that he consumed totally unconscious. And it was just his vagus nerve calling the need like an addict to consume uncontrollably. See it clearly. As we float through our existence within our lodge, it's not that floating is not an unconsciousness. It is as if we're in the house of water. We are like a fish. We are our Pisces self. We are our Cancer crab. We are Aquarian, the water bearer. We are all the water signs when we are in the oracle, the house of the Oracle of Delphi. And we float into our dining room, into the patio, into the garden, and over to the Tree of Knowledge, and over east corner from the Tree of Knowledge is the Hambu of our master Akashike. And we come to the porch of the front door. We come up the steps, and we're in an elevated position. We leave our shoes before we enter the Hambu. And there is a place where, before we go past the event horizon, we cleanse ourselves, not just our feet, but our whole body. And again, the whole house of the Oracle of Delphi is the house of falling water. And every place we go inside the house, the Oracle of Delphi, we are being carried by water, cleansed by water, refreshed by water, healed by water. And we put on our robes, our white robes with our white belt, and we step into the Hambu barefooted, and we come to face our master, Akashike, and we bow in respect and humility, and then we seat ourselves at the feet of our master. And when I say master, Akashike is an ascended master. And he is in the hegemony of the spiritual tiles. And those tiles, are just like the yellow brick road. But in the material illusion of Lucifer, the yellow brick road is gold and avarice and lacking. It's a zero-sum game. But the tiles reference all that is all our relations. Each of those tiles, it's like a mahjong pile. See that clearly. Each tile represents an understanding and then an overstanding, and then a move forward in ascension of our consciousness is free will. See this clearly, all of this. It is the basis of what our master is going to teach us tonight. And the curriculum tonight is that of self-protection through the understanding of the energetics of the flow of all our relations. So we can be a member of the lake of the Great Link. We are that pebble in the pond causing that wave. And that wave goes out and it hits something and then reflects back to us. And we can say, oh, there is this there. That is a good thing. I will give it a bow of respect so it can enter into my field. I invite it in. I drop the pebble again, and the wave goes out, and again reflects. And this time it reflects something that is not appropriate, not within the frequency of your adept nature. It will cause a Discordian moment. And within the construct of we do not do anything that does not help. We're only there to serve love's co-creation and the ability to heal, forgive, and help. Not to be the hero, not to be the focus of attention, not to be praised or rewarded with useless commodities. Our pay or remuneration is not transactional. It is holistic. We serve to make others safe and happy. And by our putting our foot forward and then sweeping away the Discordian dynamic and replacing it with photonic light's understanding and unconditional love and forgiveness, we create with love's co-creation. See this clearly. This is the foundation of self-reliance, which leads to self-respect, which leads to safety. And that safety is the safety of our consciousness' free will. See it clearly. And in every day and every way, we will take the piece of the earth and make it stronger. See it clearly. And now I'm going to be quiet, and you're going to stand and go through your katas. And you will follow Master Akasha K's instruction within the group, on that group conductivity, and within your individual tutorial, and that Master Akasha K will give. And within the dynamic of that individual tutorial, because we are the cadre, because we are the chorus, and because we are the shock troops of love's co-creation, we will all share in this experience from each of our own perspective. See it clearly. I am now going to be quiet. And 3, you're in a deep, 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 deep state of relaxation. Your conscious mind is totally quiet. That little squirrel in the cage of your mental mind's Rolodeck is asleep. Your body, your bag of water, your mud puppet is at rest, rejuvenating itself from the mitochondria out and grounding itself in the chi of all that is all our relations. You have illuminated yourself with your breath. You have illuminated your imaginary mirror, and you've taken that photonic light and shined it into your Akashic record, the library of your spirit's soul, consciousness, free experience. See it clearly. You've eliminated and evacuated all of the anger, all the fear, all the self-loathing, and all of the constructs of illusion into your Akashic record. And then you closed it. And all of that is no longer inside of you. It is no longer running your vagus nerve. It is no longer running, your cranial sacral pulses. And you are in balance. And that balance goes throughout the circle, and that circle of balance ascends to the roof of the Hambu, and the ridge of the roof is like an antenna, and it is transmitting that balance of love's co-creation throughout the whole Luciferian universe. See this clearly. And it is 2 hours, 22 minutes, and 22 seconds. And you feel that bell ringing of synchronicity. You feel the rising of your chakras one more notch, up through another event horizon of spiritual balance. See it clearly. Feel the water in your bag no longer polluted. See it, feel it. It is clear and just. And you're walking through your katas. You're stepping forward and then sweeping with the opposite arm. And then you're stepping forward with the leg and the foot of the arm that you just swept with, and you're moving forward. And then you're sweeping with the opposite arm all of the destructive, distracting, Discordian illusion of the material world is being put in a place, the trash bin of the irrelevance of materialism. See it clearly. And again, I'm going to be quiet, and you are going to experience your tutorial with your master Akasha K. See it clearly. And I am sitting cross-legged in meditation. And why I am sitting in cross-legged meditation is because I am within the construct of my own guided meditation. My energies, with my legs crossed underneath me, they aren't crossing the fields. What they're doing is creating a harmonic resonance. And when you get yourself to a position of the higher hegemony or the arcane within the structure of being the adept, you will be able to sit that way. And you will no longer need me to guide you. I will always be your Sensei Albab. I will always be here to assist. I will always be here to point out things through the construct of the frame of the shamanic, psychosocial, cultural, forensic, anthropologic alchemist. I will always be here to welcome you home to my lodge in the house of the Oracle of Delphi. And as your Sensei Albab, I will always greet you with a bow, a smile, and a twinkle in my eye, and an open heart, and a warm soul. And the word that comes from my thought of love for you is welcome home. And when you hear that, you will feel the nostalgia of this experience that isn't held in time, but held in your heart. See that clearly. And I'm going to count from 3 to 1, and as I do, you're going to come back into your avatar, into your bag of water. You stretch, and you bow with respect to Master Akashike. You return yourself to the front porch, and you put on the clothes you had entering your Akashic record. See it clearly. And 2, you are coming up out of the garden into your lodge, or sitting down at your dining table, and your guide has again brought some teacups and a pot of tea. See it clearly? And this is the pot of tea that is mixed with the tea from pot 1, pot 2, and pot 3, giving you the strength and resilience and the refreshness of your mitochondria, giving you the insight, the sharpness of your intellect, of your consciousness, that has been cleared of all ego and all fear and all anxiety, that has enabled your intellect to be framed from the shamanic, psychosocial, cultural, forensic, anthropologic, alchemical frame. See it clearly. So when all things come to you, you no longer go to it with the prejudice of belief and judgment and the irrelevance of taste. See it clearly. And 2, you're now entering into your library, and you go over to your guides, your librarian, your animal totem, and your guardian angel, and you again bow with respect and humility, and they do the same. And you are in that circle of glow, of harmony, of family. And I'm going to say 1 3 times, and at the third time I'm going to snap my fingers. You'll be right back here. And 1, you're feeling your body, your avatar, your bag of water. You feel cleansed, refreshed, renewed, clear, and awake. See that clearly. Remember everything that you've gone through here. What you saw. Remember very clearly what you saw of John Birmingham in the first 15 minutes of the chat. And then open up your Akashic record and see the anger and fear and unjustness and all of the darkness of Lucifer's illumination of the illusion of the material world. See it clearly. See the untruth of what you're told. See the untruth of what you've been made to believe you are. See the untruth of what you were told, what your history and where you came from. And overstand the realization of who you are, why you're here, and where you came from. And you have that in you now, in your heart. See that clearly. And to get a more clearer picture, all you need to do is come through your imaginary mirror to your library and look at your Akashic record. And at your own leisure, you need to more and more, and every day and every way, come to your Akashic record and take the piece of the earth and make it stronger through love's co-creation. See it clearly. And 1, you're back there and you're opening your eyes and you are seeing where you are and you feel comfortable. And 1, you're back here now. All right. 2 hours, 32 minutes, and 32 seconds. I love that, how that works. So how you feeling, gang? Peppermint hearts and lavender dreams. Yep, that's right, Dragon. 2, 2, 2, 2. Lots of 2s. Welcome home, y'all. Final Fantasy, the beginning. Aho. Righteous Jane. Happy Twitchy. Honest Buddy. So, during the everyday of your everyday, I want you, and I'm just speaking for our master, Akasha K, I walk. You see me walk. I walk with a step forward and I brush the illusion away. I step forward with my other leg and brush the discord away. I walk with my right foot and heal with my left arm, brushing away the illness. Practice this as you walk through your life in every day and every way. See it clearly. Enhance it with your breath. 20% in, 30% out. And as you walk that way, it will enhance everything you do, will heal everything you do. All that you've experienced in this chat will be brought to your imaginary mirror where you can, just with a blink of an eye, see what's going on. Yep, practice this more. That's it. But, toroidal field, that's what that is. When we, that energetic that we use to breathe in the prana and put in our blood, that is a toroidal field. Yeah? We're going to have some fun with electricity, buddy. I guess I have to come to your laboratory. So, I think we have an agenda, right? We're from this evening's chat, and that's the process of the longhouse. Is that the collective, the cadre, creates the agenda, and the chorus within the construct of the chat facilitates it. And the shock troops of love's co-creation manifest it in state. And within this construct, all who come can gather. All who gather can stand. All who stand can serve. See that clearly. Well, Dragon, we use words, and again, I like to use the perfect word. So agenda may not be perfect, but love's agenda. Okay, that's better. But by using the word agenda, it gives us the understanding that we're moving forward with a form of a strategy, right? And that prepares us to go into our next chat tomorrow morning, tomorrow evening, with an idea. And that's kind of what I do. That's why I do 2 chats a day. I wake up, and like today, what did I do? 4 chats today, right? And they, the one that came before the next one was the one that became first, right? So I was asleep. I woke up. I guess that was yesterday's morning. I woke up. I spoke for about 10 minutes and went back to sleep, and then woke up when I could sit up in bed and put my socks on and shoes. And then we had a chat. And then, we had the evening chat. And then today, I had a chat. I wanted to get out of here so I could go shopping and make it back, because I knew that if I waited past noon, the drive up the skating rink of our driveway of 2 miles kind of melted and turned soggy yesterday with the rain and the weather of 40. But our road is on the north side of the mountain, so it doesn't get sun. And unless it really rains hard, which it didn't, and unless it goes into the 50s during the day and 40s at night, which it didn't, that's the only way it's going to get rid of this. Now, it kind of made it soft and got rid of maybe 30-40%. And then when I woke up at 7 and got in my car and drove down the hill, I basically was able to get up and get down. But if I had waited, when that wind started whisking, and by 10 o'clock, I kind of came back up around 10. It went, when I left going down the hill, it was 40 degrees. When I came back up the hill, it was 28 degrees. By noon, it had gotten to 0. and now it's like at 9 below. We had this big Arctic blast come in. So, and the last 100 yards getting up the hill, I almost did. I had to shamanically hover my car up the sheet of ice, and the hill was 90 degrees. And John was out there telling me what to do, and putting himself in the way so I might run him over. So, and then we would have had to carry, if I had kept the car on that hill, which I could have, we'd have to carry all that food up, a 40-degree incline, 100 yards, carrying food. But see that this day was a day of challenges, a day of accomplishments, and a day of breakthroughs. Now, we've all had a breakthrough through this chat, even John. Whether he can remember it, whether he will step up to it, that's a good question. But with our prayers, that can really elevate, because that's what got me up that 100 yards of 40-degree incline. I'll show it to you in the morning chat tomorrow, right? And John said, you can't walk up that hill. You're going to have to get on your butt and it's like, what? And I just elevated, the car and, made it, glide up rather than slide down. And so that is the kind of agenda, that I'm talking about, and it's not like anything, stuck in Robert's Rules of Order. No, no, we use the Iroquois Great Law. And so it mostly is left to synchronicity, That's why I'm your Sensei Al Bob. It's one of my masteries, and is becoming yours also, right? We are all learning to let go of our expectations. We're all learning to let go of our beliefs. We're all learning to let go of all those things that stick us. And we all have these things. We all have beliefs. And I constantly tell people, well, I don't believe in anything. Well, I don't. I do have opinions, and those are just south of beliefs, And I try to continually say, hey, this is just an opinion. It's not right. It's not correct. It's not done in stone. I'm just throwing it out there to give us a little perspective on a direction. And that's when I said agenda. That's what I'm talking about, right? So we are building this very interesting little platform. We are taking it upon ourselves to individually be responsible, for our own welfare and the welfare of the cadre. Right? We're all there to help each other. Boy, that took you a long time, Twitchy. As soon as you mentioned it once, I was chuckling at this. And chuckling is the best thing to do. Yes, it is. Sensitive Twitchy. No, you're not bad. You're sensitive. Right? And there is no such thing as a bad or mistake or something wrong or sin if you can learn from them and not do it again. As my second wife said, saying you're sorry ain't good enough. Good start. Just don't do it again. And why she loved me so? After the first evening first day we stayed, I met her 30 days before I spent a day with her. I spent like 16 hours with her the first time I met her. And, we were a twin flame. We knew this. But when I said, oh, let me come in for a cup of coffee, which is the secret handshake, she says, no, here's my business card. Call me. And I said, what? And she goes, call me tomorrow, which is today. So call me about, she said 2. 2 is the best time for you. I will be ready to talk to you at 2 p.m. Called her up. How you doing? Let's go have a cup of coffee. No, we talked for an hour on the phone, and she said, call me tomorrow at 2 p.m. I did that a whole month. And I said to myself on the 30th date, okay, if I don't get at least a cup of coffee out of this woman, I'm moving on. Even though all I can think about is her, right? So I'm just about to reach for the phone when it rings. I pick it up, and it's her. She goes, what are you doing now? I said, well, what do you want me to do? She goes, can you get over here as fast as you can? I'll be there right away. And I ran 40 blocks. I buzzed her buzzer. She buzzed me in. I took the elevator up to her floor. I went to, she goes, it's apartment such and such. And I went to the door. It was open. And I pushed the door open, and all the lights were on. She had votive candles from the front door to her bedroom. And she, had a pathway of rose petals. And she had a little chair with a little blanket or rug or something, but basically it was there to take all my clothes off, and there was a very nice silk robe with a dragon on it, and my Chinese astrological sign is dragon. Anyway, I stick that on, I put the sash in and tie it up, and I walk ceremonially on the rose petals, and there she is in her gigantic four-poster king-size bed, and the whole room is surrounded in mirrors. Everywhere you look, all you can see is the bed. And there she is in all her grandeur. And she just smiles, and I, take off the robe and join her, and woo! And we definitely flamed, right? I just went up in conflagration. And at the height of that, of release, we did not, either of us, ejaculate. And we both went into a state. We're both meditators. We're both pretty high-level adepts. And we never really talked about that in the 16 hours that we talked about stuff. But psychically, we knew everything about each other, right? And so I was just holding her, and she not only went into state as did I, but we went to Master Akasha K's Hambu, first time ever, and we walked in and we did the ceremony that you did this evening. And we walked in, and there was Master Akasha K sitting in his chair, that's elevated above the floor of the Hambu. And in front of him were 8 adepts, master adepts. And they turned and made a space for my twin flame and I. And we had a ceremony that was quite amazing. And one day we will share that. You, the cadre, and I, and the, Master Kasha K's cadre. And but so we had that experience, and that'll be another story, that experience. And then we went to sleep in each other's arms, and then the sun rose, and we shared again the twin flame. And she ran a business, big business, had a lot of employees, had to get there, by 7 at the latest. So there was no, pussyfooting. And so she jumped out of bed, and I watched her beautiful form, glide in front of me. And she took a shower and did everything in the bathroom, and she kind of glided back and said, okay, it's all, I got a towel for you, and you can, go take a shower if you want. And I did, so because that's part of the ceremony. You know, you cleanse yourself when you do a high level energetic ceremony. Anyway, which was what we did all night long. And so she was putting on her outfit, and she's in the fashion industry, and so her calling card is looking like me. Shamanic master electrician, right, and artist and healer, and so I kind of look like how you see me, but younger. And so anyway, she goes off and she's doing all the things, getting ready, and I go and take a shower. Now, in her bathroom floor has a shag carpet, a purple, just like that color there. And it's in that pattern too, a swirl. So I take a shower, and she's got all these essential oils laid out for me to use in again, more ceremony. And I know what's what, and I do it, and she comes in and pokes her head and giggles that that I'm actually doing all the things that she kind of set out without her telling me, oh, you need to do this. I just do it, and she kind of looks at how I did it, and she kind of giggles again and pads away. And then I finish and I dry myself off in the shower, right? And then I dry myself off again in the shower. And then I dry my feet off so they are completely dry. And I brought my socks in. And before I step out of the shower, I put one sock on. And then I dry the other foot and ankle and put that sock on. And I pad into the bedroom, where she has not only taken my clothes away and probably burnt them, but she's left on another clothes rack type of chair clothes for me to wear, just like she made me that silk robe with the dragon and sitchins on it. So when I put it on, it was a ceremony. And the clothes she made were, pretty amazing clothes. They were work clothes. They weren't like really fancy Dan clothes, but they were a lot nicer than the kind of funky thing I was wearing. And then she says, in the closet, you will find a clothes bag. And there's 3, not suits, but groups of clothes: pants, shirt, jacket. 3. And a pair of shoes. And she goes, I don't want you to wear any of your clothes ever into my apartment. These are the clothes you need to wear. And that clothes bag is going to be in the closet. That's my closet, but that's your clothes bag, right? Those are your clothes. And the suit you're wearing, you go up to work, and she hands me another, suit bag, and she goes, put this one in your shop and clean yourself off from your work and put that suit on and come to me in that suit. And also another nice little thing waiting for you. So I get all dressed up, and then she goes into the bathroom, and I go into the kitchen, and I basically muscle test, what does my twin flame want for breakfast? This is going to be the first breakfast I make for her, so I'm going to be impressive to her. And so I kind of muscle test what she wants, right? And I make it for her, and I lay it all out on a beautiful table setting that I prepare for her, and I get a nice French press for coffee. I can tell that she likes coffee. She got a lot of coffees in there, French press, and I use it correctly, just the way I was taught to use a French press. And she comes in, and she looks at everything, and she almost has a little tear in her cheek. And she goes, I'm keeping you. And I go, well, was it last night, or was it the breakfast? And she goes, no. I've had a number of guests come over, and you were the only one who dried himself off in the shower to the point that you left no moisture on that carpet. And most who do this, who leave, they just step out of the shower all wet and they basically make the carpet all wet. And so when I go and I make myself up in that mirror, that's a like makeup mirror with lights all around it, right? And I like standing and leaning into it, not sitting down. I didn't put it in my boudoir. I do it there in the bathroom because I got, all the cabinets of all the different things I might need are in the bathroom. You're the first person ever, of all the people who've stayed overnight, to not get that carpet wet. And if you had got it wet, what would have happened was, so I would have padded in there, and I wasn't in my dress. I was just in my brassiere and my underpants and my hose. And if I went in there and that carpet was wet, my hose would have gotten wet. I'd have to change everything, and I would have ruined my day. That would have set me off on my schedule. I would have been a little teed for the rest of the day. But because you did this, I am happier than I've ever been, ever. And look at the breakfast you made me. I'm keeping you. And we spent, 8 years. And if you go to Blogspot, my xratted.blogspot.com, there is the story of how we separated and how we were together. So I invite you to start reading xratted.blogspot.com. And I've been told that, it takes me so long to get through it. No, just go right through it. Like I said, read it zip through it the first time, read it slower the second time, and the third time, look for all the little metaphors of the hidden meanings of the things I'm trying to teach you. And that's why, I got 26 of these novels. I didn't lay all of them down. I laid one. And I didn't lay the whole thing. I only laid 3/4 because I didn't want to, overdo it. So, and the way I have them, they're in cuts, and you don't have to read it from the beginning to the end, but you can. It's cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and you can read them in whatever order you want, or read them, 1 through 6, however you want. They stand alone. They work in different constructs. It's a magical thing. It's like, my writing is alchemy. I'm changing the lead into gold as you read it. Okay? So, we're almost at 3 hours. Look at that. So, I think we will say goodnight at 3 hours and 3 seconds. So it'll be 3:00:03. That's a very synchronistic number. Okay, let's see. I'll find a way to make 2 out at some point. Yep, exactly. Since we don't live in a linear world, we got all the time in the world. There go moon. Kundalini, yep. Oh, Kundalini with a cherry on top. Yeah, that's why our first night was a Kundalini with whipped cream, chocolate sauce, and a cherry on top with strawberries. Empath, yep. And the best lover to have is, or best twin flame, forget lover. Best twin flame to have is an empath. Well, get a hold of me at any time at the Dude Awake 42 at Gmail. Go to my that's my Gmail. If you want to send me any kind of little gratuity, do it through the old Western Union, Al Martino at Roanoke, Virginia, and then send the tracking number to Dreamy Dreamland. No, excuse me, not Dreamy Dreamland. The Dude Awake 42. I'm getting tired, But you all healed me greatly. I was really sick from dealing with John. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Good night. I love you guys. See you in the morning.